Hey everybody, welcome back. So lately I've been fooling around with the idea of trying to revive old batteries using a stick welder. So I got a couple old batteries sitting here that have not been used for probably 10, 12 years or so. And I got my little Cinder stick welder, which I tested and reviewed a while back. I've got a 6 amp manual charger because I hate automatic chargers. I got a load tester, I got a voltmeter, but I lack one of the newer electronic battery testers. So I've seen this one. This is the Kingbolen battery tester. I've seen it on a couple other channels. So I got on Amazon and it's only like 20, 22 bucks, so I bought one. So before we get back to all the battery stuff, trying to revive batteries, I thought let's do a quick test on this, see if it's actually worth a crap. I'm not going to use, well, I might use it on one of those. When I first started goofing with them, each of them had about a half a volt. I hit them with the welder for about 10 minutes each at, 60 or 70 amps. And of course, the welder's about 65 volts. And when I checked them the next day, they still had like 6, 7 volts in them. They're 12 volt batteries. So we may test it on that. It might not even light it up. But I got both of my Jeeps and my wife's Cadillac. Although my wife's Cadillac, the battery is under the back seat, and I hate screwing with that thing. So let's get this out and let's have a look at it. I haven't taken it out yet or anything. See, the stuff is still around there. Battery analyzer, 6, 12, and 24 volts. Over voltage input protection, polarity reverse protection, SOC, SOH test. I think SOH is state of health. SOC must be state of charge. 6, 12, 24 volt battery compatible. And here's just some basic instructions telling you connect the battery, how it will look if you've hooked it up backwards. Select the battery type, enter the cold cranking amps, which will be on a label on the battery. If it's not, just guess. And view the oh, sorry about that. I think I poured coffee down the wrong way. And view your test results. Tips: good, the battery's in good condition. Normal, general state of the battery may continue to use. Poor, the battery is in poor condition. Please replace it in time. In time for what? Oh, that's right. This is a translation. Okay, this is model BM550. 1.8-inch display, and we don't care about the rest of that. Oh, and I paid for this with my own money. This is not a sponsored review. Let's see if one of these, let's get the little wire tie off the battery, see if I can do it one-handed. Nope, I'm gonna have to hold it. There we go. All right, let's get this junk out of the way. It's never going back in that. Let's start on the old CJ7. Okay, here we are. So for full disclosure, this battery is only a year old, a year and a half old. Date code isn't on it anywhere that I can see. But it's not that old, and I keep one of these cheapo little float chargers on it because it doesn't get started that often. So it's not a daily driver. Probably will be at one point, but isn't now. So let's hook it up and let's see what we get. It's got one of those eyes in it. Can you see that? And it is, trying to get the shade out of it, it is bright green. So that says it's charged, but let's hook it up. Now we're reading something. It's asking me, is it 6, 12, or 24? 12 is flashing, so I'm going to say okay. Now it's asking me the CCA, and the CCA says it's 600. So just going to hold that down. I hope this is getting on the screen, on the camera, because it is god-awful bright out here today, of course. 600, going to say okay, and I guess it's doing the test. Really that simple. 307, so it says it is poor. Really? Okay. Cranks the vehicle very, very easily, so I don't know what I'm supposed to read from that, but yeah, it says cold cranking amps is 307, which is poor. Okay, what else? State of health, 26%. State of charge, 98%. is that 8.3 volts? Oh, 8.43 resistance, which is high. 13.4 volts, which I would think is be okay. And we're back to 307 cold cranking amps, which is poor for this battery. Well, it was the cheapest battery at Walmart I could get. So, I mean, it does charge the vehicle. Excuse me, it does start the vehicle and cranks it easily. So, not too sure what's up with that. Maybe it really is no good. Maybe it's just because it does not get used very much. Anyway, let's move on to another one and see what it says about the one in the in my Grand Cherokee, because it's even newer than this one, and it does get used at least 5 days a week. So let's go out and try that one. So here we are out at my Grand Cherokee, and I just noticed I've got an oil leak. I'm gonna have to come out and deal with that. That oil or coolant? Interesting. Anyway, I'll have to come out and deal with that another time. That's not what we're doing today. This is yet another Walmart battery, because I couldn't find one anyplace else when the one in here went bad. Let's get this connected. Boy, those are some sad looking terminals, aren't they? I'm gonna have to do something about those. So here we are. Once again, hope that's visible. 12 volts is flashing, so I'm gonna say okay. Cold cranking amps on this one is, what is it, 750? CCA 750, yes. So is it better in the light or in the dark? I don't know. So 750, we're just going to hold the button down and it advances pretty quickly. 735, 40, 750. Okay, and away we go. So it says the cold cranking amps available is 594, which says is good. Voltage is 12.45. This vehicle does not get a float charger kept on it because it's run almost every day. Every now and again it'll get a day off. Like today I don't think I've got to go anywhere, but tomorrow I do. And says it's good. There's good, normal, and poor. So the resistance is 4.36, which is good. 5 and under should be good. State of charge 75%. State of health 63%, and back to cold cranking amps. You know, that raises the question with the old Jeep of why was it showing bad when it cranks the vehicle so easily and cranks it for quite some time? Could it be because it does sit on a float charger? Here's another vehicle that sits on a float charger a lot. Battery's under the back seat, and I hate screwing with it, but you know what? I'd really like to check it because it had a new battery put in it. I know 2 years is an old battery for Arizona. Batteries here make it through 3 summers, and then they die the next winter. I have never had a battery last 4 summers here. You know, and people say, oh, it's the underhood temps. Well, the battery's under the back seat in that car, and it doesn't make it to 4 summers either. And the sad condition of the paint on this car, this is a 2003, and yes, they sit outside, and this is a 98, and the paint's in better condition than that one. And this car only has 36,000 miles on it, original, because my wife bought it brand new. But let's try it. I'll get the battery out of the back. It's not that hard to do. And I don't have the trickle charger on it now because it got driven yesterday. Okay, so there's the battery. This battery is a Napa brand battery, and the CCA says it's 840. All right, so anybody in Arizona want a 36,000 mile 2003 DeVille? Here it is. Assuming my wife would be willing to sell it. She doesn't drive anymore. I don't know why she wouldn't be willing to sell it. Come on. Oh, the back of the screen lights up. Screen has a backlight. Couldn't even tell that. And it's flashing. Why is it flashing? Shouldn't be flashing. There we go. 12 volts is flashing on the device. Going to say okay. And CCA is 840. 840. And okay, there we go. See what it says. It says the CCA is 231. Voltage is 12.16 or poor. This car also has quite a drain on it. It has nearly a half an amp drain on it. Not all the time, but sometimes when you shut it off, you come out 3 or 4 days later, and it'll be low or stone dead. And the drain is in the instrument light, in the instrument circuit someplace. Doesn't do it all the time. 1 out of every 10 times maybe, which is one of the reasons, and the fact that it doesn't get driven, that I keep a float charger on it most of the time. So poor, it says 12.16. The resistance is 11.2, which is really high. And the state of charge is 26%. So I think I've got the drain going on at this point in time. And state of health is 8%. And that battery has gotten very, very, very little use. And it sits under the back seat out of the sun and out of the underhood temps. So anyway, there you go. Let's see if the car will start. Like I say, I drove this yesterday. It wasn't a long drive, but probably 20-30 minutes, enough to charge the battery up. Now, if the voltage on the dash comes up as 15 volts or close to 15, that normally tells me that I've had the 15, which means it's been draining. Because normally when the battery drain doesn't go on, that reads 13.8, 13.9, maybe 14, and the next day if I start it up, it'll read 14.2 to 14.5. When it says 15, that means that it has been draining. Yeah, I just don't have it in me to yank the dash and everything out of it to get to that. So I'm gonna have to hook the float charger back up to it today, or else it'll be dead tomorrow or the next day. Okay, so just came back in and turned the voltmeter on, and I just wanted to check to see what the state of charge of these two motorcycle batteries that I've been goosing with the welder are. And got that backwards just because I'm curious. And this one is showing 2.5 volts, 2.482, but this one up here is showing, can you see that? This one up here is showing 5.547 volts, which means if the Kingbolen would test 6-volt batteries, it should light up and say, it should at least light the screen up when I do that. So, positive is this one, negative is this one. Oh, there it goes. It's going to light it up. I wonder what happened before. Okay, it's a 12, this is going to be fun. It's a 12-volt battery. CCA, what did I say CCA was? 330. Hope that's showing up in the camera. I can't tell because it's camera screen. It just looks white. We're going to say okay. Poor. CCA 0. 4.17 volts. The resistance is 3006.52, and the state of charge is 0. All right, we're going to see if we can improve upon that a bit. I doubt it, again, that this one with only 2.5 volts will do anything with it, but yeah, nothing. Okay, well, that's been interesting. I think this gave me some interesting information. There you go. The Kingbolen electronic battery tester seems to work good. So I will put an affiliate link to Amazon below. I think they're about 22 bucks. And they're also available from AliExpress and Temu, but they're only like $1 or $2 less. So I figured I'd get it quick and order it from Amazon. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye for now.